What's happening, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Rue's Reviews, and today we are chatting about Scotch and Whiskey by Hanson Chien Productions and Tom Elderfield. So let's run that title sequence. Yes, thank you very much indeed for joining me back on the channel. If you've never been here before, hello, my name is Rue. I do weird things for a living, including this review channel. And in today's show, we are chatting about Scotch and Whiskey, spelt Scotch and Whiskey with an E, being the Irish whiskey, not Scotch whiskey. That hopefully made sense. So what is Scotch and Whiskey? Scotch and Whiskey is a gimmicked key system that allows you to perform multiple phase routines with gimmicks like Scotch and Soda gimmicks. If you know what a Scotch and Soda gimmick is from Coin Magic, or Copper Silver gimmicks, you can do multiple phases of those kind of routines but with keys. Along with this, you also get a wonderful addition of a turtle. If you know what a turtle is, I'm not going to go any further than that, but that allows you to vanish one of the keys, ending completely clean. So I know what you're probably thinking, Rue, you've already done a review on Hide a Key by Chris Rawlins. Why are you reviewing essentially the same gimmick? So full disclosure, the Hanson Chien team reached out to me and said, well look, you've already done a review on Hide a Key. Would you like to review Scotch and Whiskey and compare the two? So fair play, they did their research and they knew that I'd be able to give a fair review of both products. If you think this review is going to be about, is this one better than this one? That's not what this is about. I'm going to give you the pros and cons for both so that you can make up your mind to figure out which one would work best for you. So what will you get in your Scotch and Whiskey package? Well, if you choose the standard version, which is what I got, you will get a regular key. This is a regular gold key, and that can be used to load anywhere you want or do as part of the routine. You also get a gimmick. This is a gimmicked key. If you know the Scotch and Soda routine, you'll know what sort of key this is. And you also get the turtle. And this is what the turtle looks like. Let me get that on camera there. So there's essentially 3 items within that. Along with that, you will also get a key ring, a little round key ring that looks like this. Is a nice little way to keep the keys all attached onto your belt loop or onto the rest of your keys. And along with that, you also get another thing that you need to make this effect work. The actual packaging box that I got with this was pretty mad. This is what it looks like. It's a really big hard case, which is probably overkill for what's needed inside. I'm not sure if yours will come in this hard case or not, but this is what mine came in. Fair play, I'll probably use this for something else at some point because I didn't need that just for 3 keys and a key ring. But that's what your package may or may not come in. Also, unfortunately, I'm not able to give a breakdown of the tutorial in this review because it's not finished yet. What I got sent was a little influencer reviewer package from Hanson Chien, and they said, look, these are the basic instructions. I'm a coin guy. I have many Scotch and Soda type routines. The addition of the turtle makes this very, very cool, but yes, I haven't got any tutorial to be able to go through in this review. So that only really means I can compare like for like when it comes to gimmicks, comparing Hide a Key and Scotch and Whiskey. I've already seen Hide a Key's amazing instructions. They're long instructions, and Gregory Wilson's instructions on Hide a Key, the additional jam that he has with Chris Rawlins, is absolutely brilliant and well worth the price of Hide a Key alone just for that jam. But without having the tutorial here from Hanson Chien, I can't compare everything in this product because I don't have that tutorial. So it has to be product for product. Although knowing Hanson Chien products, and they're always well produced, they'll probably have Tom Elderfield in there as well maybe, I don't know, but I doubt it'll be a super long tutorial because the gimmicks are pretty simple. I've mentioned Tom Elderfield. If you don't know who Tom is, he is a consultant, magician, done work on many TV shows. He's based over here with me in the UK. Not with me, he doesn't live in the same house as me, but I think he's up in London or somewhere like that. And he wanted to create this gimmick for a TV special that he was doing, so got in touch with Hanson Chien, and thus the Scotch and Whiskey gimmick was produced. So let's get straight into the key differences. Oh, that was bad, wasn't it? So let's get into the main differences between Scotch and Whiskey and Hide a Key. The first main difference is that Scotch and Whiskey is a copper silver routine. You have a copper silver gimmick built into this system. Hide a Key allows you just to vanish a key and you can make that appear anywhere you like. Scotch and Whiskey, you have a copper silver gimmick built into the system, so you can build a longer routine. Instead of just making a key vanish and reappear under a watch or on a shoulder or wherever, The fact that you can do a copper silver transpo, have things jump from your hand to the spectator's hand or from their hand to your hand before making that final key vanish, I think is very, very strong. Some of you may remember Freaky by Gregory Wilson, an amazing product. I never had it myself, but I know many people that did. And I know fans of that effect are going to probably want to pick up Scotch and Whiskey because of that copper silver nature. You're able to do paddle moves with these keys. You can show the key both sides and then have that key change colour, which I think is very, very cool and something that you can't really do with Hyder key. Another main difference between Hyder key and Scotch and Whiskey is the look of the keys. So this is a Hyder key. You can see what it looks like there. And this is a Scotch and Whiskey key. So a very big, big difference. And I know this could probably be the sort of game changer for a lot of people looking into buying this. However, let me say this. The Scotch and Whiskey key, which is this one here, definitely looks more like a house key, like a British house key that we would have over here. I'm not sure how it translates around the world, but this looks more like a common household key to me and would probably fly under the radar. However, having used this key, which doesn't look like a common household key, over many, many events, I have never been called out on the validity of this key. In my head, I've always rationalised it as a locker key or a bike lock key or a safety box key because that's what they sort of look like. They sort of look like box key or like locker keys or something like that. But I've never been questioned on the validity of this key. So I'm not sure. The difference, like obviously the difference is quite apparent. You can see that between the two keys. And if you think that you want things looking a certain way or a certain aesthetic and it has to look a certain way, this might be the key for you, the Scotch and Whiskey key. However, if you're not too fussed about it, then the Hyder key, sort of locker style looking key, flies completely under the radar as well. I've never had anybody question that key during performance. One thing to note is the quality. The Scotch and Whiskey key is a lot thicker and a lot more durable, I feel, than the Hyder key because the Hyder key feels a little bit thin. It feels like if I did that hard enough, it would probably bend. This is very, very strong, so the chances of that bending are nil unless you properly bend it with some pliers. The Hyder key I feel is a lot thinner and not as durable as the Scotch and Whiskey key. However, as we come on to the turtle aspect of this gimmick, this is the Scotch and Whiskey turtle, this is the Hyder key turtle. The quality of the Hyder key turtle, I feel, is much better than the quality of the Scotch and Whiskey turtle. Now, that is because I believe these have slightly thicker edges. The actual turtle on the Scotch and Whiskey gimmick has quite thin edges. So I've already accidentally dented that side in. I've been able to push it out again, but I have accidentally dented it just from carrying it around on my keys, whereas this, because it's got quite a thick rim, it's been on my keys and has been battered around and hasn't dented or bent in on the edges here. So if you know how a turtle works, you know that can happen if you drop or bang your turtle. With this, with the Scotch and Whiskey, I feel like it's slightly more flimsier around the edges compared to the Hyder key. So that is one thing to consider if you're looking into carrying this around as an everyday carry. And finally, the last main difference for me between Hyder key and Scotch and Whiskey is the fact that Scotch and Whiskey has a locking key system. So if you have a coin unique or know of what a coin unique is, it's the same similar principle as a coin unique. I have a gold key, I have a silver key, I place both into my hands, I take out one of them, in this case the silver key, wave it over the gold key, and that one completely vanishes. In fact, the locking system in this is so good that I'm able to hand this out to people and get them to wave over the gold key before that key completely vanishes. Now, with Hyder key, you don't get that locking system. It's a free-flowing system, which means technically it's better for an EDC, in my view, because you don't have to unlock that key before starting your performance. So I like that Hyder key doesn't have that locking system because it becomes a bit more free flow, but it also means I can't really hand that key out to be examined by the spectators. And as I say, the actual locking system within this is now the gimmick locked. I'm getting this right up to the camera here. I'm not sure how close I can get this up to the camera without the camera going crazy, but this is now locked. Okay, this is now fully locked and I'm able to hand that out to the spectators. Okay, and that's the dirty side. No, it's not. Do you see how good it is? that is the dirty side, okay? That's the dirty side for the locking system. And I'm able to hand this out and I'm really not worried. But because the locking system is so strong, you need to carry around something else that will unlock that key for you. So if you know what I mean by that, then you know what I mean. I don't have to explain it, but it is something else that you will have to carry around with you if you want to perform this as a regular EDC. The fact that hide a key doesn't lock could be a pro or a con for some people. For me, I think that's better for going around using it as an EDC because I don't have to reset after each performance. I can reset during a performance, after or before. Whilst that's happening, that is something that as an EDC performer, I sort of value. But I also love the fact that Scotch and Whiskey, you can hand that key out to be examined and have them hold on to the gimmicked key. And that leads me on to one thing that I wish Scotch and Whiskey had, which was, if you remember Coin Unique, you were able to bang the gimmick out of the turtle. That sounds really wrong, doesn't it? But you were able to actually slam the gimmick against your hand and you would get out the part of the gimmick that you needed to reset. Because the locking system is so strong in Scotch and Whiskey, you need to carry around this other extra gimmick. Now, I'm sure if the locking system wasn't as strong, you could still get away with handing it out to people because it would still be locked in place. And with a sharp thud, you'd be able to get what you needed out. But because it is so strong, you have to carry around this other thing on your keychain, which, to be fair, you do get that with the product, and it's actually really small, and they put a little key hook on it, and it can hook onto your keychain. That's how I've been carrying it around. It's actually very, very useful, but if they didn't have that, I think that will make this more of a accessible EDC, like hide a key is by not having the locking system. With Scotch and Whiskey, you also get this little key ring. It's a cool little round key ring that allows you to carry everything around. You don't get that with hide a key, but you know, this is just a normal key ring, so I'm sure you can find this anywhere else, but I actually quite like the roundness of it. I nearly dropped it then. I have had this just on my belt clip for the last few days, and I will see how this holds up over a period of time, but it's a nice little addition just to have with, I was going to say hide a key, with Scotch and Whiskey. But you know what, I'm rambling on here, so let me just show you a little performance that I did for social media of Scotch and Whiskey. Here we go, enjoy. So here's something kind of cool with a silver key and a gold key. All you guys have to do is watch. If I take out one of them, in this case the gold key, with a little wave, that now becomes the silver key, and inside the hand is the gold key. I'll show you that again a little bit slower. Two keys inside the hand. Watch, I'll take out one of them, in this case the silver key. With a wave, that becomes the gold key, and inside the hand is the silver key. Now, this is where things get really trippy. If I take the gold key and wave the silver key over the gold key, that gold key completely vanishes, leaving just the silver key. If I take the silver key and squeeze that, that too vanishes. I'll see you later. There we go, guys. I hope you enjoyed that little performance. At the end, when I make the key vanish, I genuinely give that key to somebody, get them to wave it over, and make that key vanish before taking that, doing a false take or a fake transfer, making that key vanish, and thus the effect is done. Very, very cool system. So if I was to be completely honest, I wish hide a key and Scotch and soda met somewhere in the middle. I want, in my head, a key to look like Scotch and Whiskey's key, right? I want that to be the case. I want the quality of the gimmick to be like hide a key's turtle gimmick. I want it to have that same quality. I want to have the option of having the copper silver because that builds a great routine, and I want to have the gimmick lock in place but have it be easily accessible again when I need it to be without having to carry around something else extra. So it's literally slap bang in the middle of both products. The quality of the regular keys that you get with Scotch and Whiskey gimmick is brilliant. The copper silver gimmick is absolutely stunning. The Scotch and soda gimmick, whatever, is absolutely stunning. It is strong, good quality gimmick that can be used for multiple other routines, not just in use with this gimmick key system. And the shell, even though I think the quality leaves something to be desired, as I say, I have dinged it. I've been able to get it out because it's quite soft metal, but it will ding quite easily if you're not careful. But the locking system, the way it looks when everything is locked together, you cannot see anything. The fact that you can hand it out to somebody is absolute game changer, in my opinion. The reset is annoying, sure, but having carried the extra little bit around with me, I have been able to reset on the fly. It's not as clean as hide a key's reset, but I have been able to do it. So If you're a magician and know how to do that kind of stuff and can get out of situations on the fly, you'll be fine using Scotch and whiskey. I think both key systems have their merits. So here we go, guys. I'm going to end this review here because I'm sort of pitting two against each other. I don't think one is better than the other. I think one probably has more use than the other. In my case, I think Scotch and whiskey probably has slightly more use than Heideke because Heideke just makes the key vanish. The locking system and look of the keys on Scotch and whiskey is something that most people will probably gravitate a bit more to than Heideke. However, do bear in mind that I believe the quality of the shell on Heideke is better than that on Scotch and whiskey. So there you go. Go out there, pick whichever one you want, whichever one suits your needs more. Well done, Tom Elderfield, and well done, Hanson Chien Productions. Again, absolutely smashed it out of the park. This is clearly one of the best key systems out there on the market today. Links are below. You know what to do. Like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and I'll see you all very, very soon. Ciao.